and being a part of the Dallas Mavericks radio network back in the day, Dirk and the Miracle Mavs. And one of the top assistants, for Rick Carlisle on that squad was Dwayne Casey. Now he's in the Detroit Pistons front office. And, Coach, I bet you don't miss my sorry butt. I promise you, man. How you been, Coach?
Ian, I do. I miss you and Dirk. I don't know which one I miss the most.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
ACC Network, your home for ACC women's basketball.
The stars are getting merged. That's what you're going to see.
So many teams got talent back, so many new faces.
And I don't think the product's been any better in the ACC than what it is right now.
For three, here I come. It's going to be massive, and it's just great for basketball fans. So many good matchups.
It doesn't get much better than this, does it?
It does not.
ACC women's basketball, all season long on ACC Network.
Hey, did you miss Clinton and Friends?
Mike in Texas, what's up?
Man, dude, part of the beauty of this is just listening to other people's calls and listening to y'all. Man, I thought it was a question about A.J. Brown, and then that bum called about LeBron. This is why you're the best, man. It doesn't matter what day of the week, you turn it on, you get straight fire gold.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The Hoop Collective Podcast.
The Lakers, they're not close to a championship team. We all understand the Lakers are a roster remodeling around Luka and Austin Reeves away from being in the conversation of contenders. And I think part of LeBron's grumpiness, and this is obviously speculation, I'm not inside his head, part of his grumpiness is probably the realization that he's not going to be part of that.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
ABC Wednesday, the Emmy-winning comedy Scrubs returns.
This is a whole new chapter for me.
No more sad sack.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want both of our sacks to be fun.
You two idiots are perfect for each other.
From executive producers of Ted Lasso and Shrinking.
We were all a part of this victory. Now get those nachos out of the premium warmer. Nachos! Feels like there's more applause for the nachos than my speech.
The new season of Scrubs, Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Kevin, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This Pistons team, they just have it. Star power. They have a style of basketball the average person loves to see. They like that intensity, that toughness. They like that they were involved in a brawl, and it harkens back to the bad boy Pistons. And when you've got stars on the team like Cade Cunningham, you have kind of everything you're looking for that America can get invested in if their team's not in it.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. NBA Saturday Prime Time on ESPN Radio. The fight for a spot in the postseason is heating up.
Baked it in. Luka Doncic from half-court.
Luka, LeBron, and the LA Lakers are in San Francisco for a showdown with the Golden State Warriors.
Launching the dribble mid-post right side. Out to Horford for three.
The Lakers at the Warriors. Coverage begins Saturday at 8 Eastern with tip-off at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed. The wait. The want. The will.
The winner of this matchup goes on to WrestleMania.
The Windy City. Stream Elimination Chamber Saturday at 7 Eastern on the ESPN app with the ESPN Unlimited plan.
Wichita's new sports leader, ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM, KKGQ, Newton. This is the Shane Dennis Show on the new ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Hey there, welcome in. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Shane Dennis Show. Jack Johnson alongside too. We'll hear from him here in just a little bit. Glad you dropped by. Be with you for the next couple of hours. Hopefully you can spend most, if not all of it, with us here. We've got a couple of interviews for you today. It's baseball heavy Shane Dennis Show today. We'll tell you all about it coming up here in a second. But first, we want to let you know how you can be a part of the show. If you're new to the station or new to the show, or both, we got a couple numbers for you. If you want to interact, we'd love to hear from you. I'll keep up with you as best I can on the text line. If you want to shoot us a text and have us respond, either asking us questions, making a comment about the topic at hand, or perhaps, this just came to me a little bit, if we got an interview that you're interested in and you want to know something about said person, you want me to ask them something for you, then perhaps you can use text line for that. That number is 316-247-0923. So shoot us a text. I'll see them. Pat Strathman and the Pulse, he sees them. Chance Lebo sees them. So if you want us to respond, or you just want to say hi, or just want to pitch in, there you go. That's how you do it. Text line 316-247-0923. We will use the hotline at least twice today, once in each hour. Got a couple of interviews for you. The hotline number, if you want to call us, is 316-669-4996. I happen to know that later on today on the Pulse with Pat, he'll be giving lottery tickets away. So you'll need the hotline for that. So perk your ears up later on for some free stuff. So the hotline, 316-669-4996. If you want to listen in ways that you're not right now, we've got all angles covered for you. We've got a smart speaker. Tell it to play KKGQ 92.3 if you're around the house. If you work from home and you're, or if you're able to stream the show at work or both, ESPNWichita.com. Go there, click listen live. You can stream the show online. And also that website has all the deets of ESPN Wichita 92.3. Got a schedule of shows, got the numbers for you there in case you forget. So check us out there. Also, we have all of our shows archived there. So on demand, you can listen to anything that you might have missed, or if you just want to listen to it again, you got an interview you liked or a funny bit, then head on over to ESPNWichita.com and re-listen to something or listen to something you may have missed the first time. New Day with SSJ in the mornings, Clinton and Friends, Rich Eisen Show, me, The Pulse with Pat, or the program from 4 to 6. You can check out all those shows at ESPNWichita.com by clicking Listen Live, and you can listen to us all day long. We'd love you for it. If you're out and about, and if you're outside of the South Central Kansas-ish listening area, download our ESPN Wichita app to your phone. Listen to us that way. Take us with you wherever you go. And also, you're able to access everything there that you can on the website too. So if you're on the go, download our ESPN Wichita app and listen through your phone, either live or after the fact. You can listen to podcasted shows that way too on your phone. Doesn't matter what kind of phone you have. Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. Download our app. Also, follow us and live stream us if you're allowed to on our Twitter page at ESPN Wichita, our Facebook page, or our YouTube page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can see us. You can watch us do the show. And as a little bit of an added bonus, when we are at our Equity Bank Park studio, like I am today, you can not only live stream the show and hear it, but you can see us, and you can also see the show schedule down there at the bottom. The ticker has what's coming up next, got all your pertinent numbers, got our Twitter handles, stuff like that. So it's a one-stop shop. If you're able, head on over to our socials and watch us as you listen to us. We are at our Equity Bank Park studio. It is February 25th. It's the 56th day of the year. 309 days left in 2026. And we're headed for a high today of 67 degrees in Wichita. Should be a great day. Hopefully yours is off to a good one. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. I will tell you what day it is, and I will tell you what we're going to talk about today, but not before Jack provides our moment of levity, tells us a joke. What you got, Jack?
I accidentally drank a bottle of invisible ink. Now I'm in the hospital waiting to be seen.
Only 2 days to tell you about today. One being National Clam Chowder Day, and the other being National Chocolate Covered Nut day. Pretty delicious day between clam chowder and chocolate covered nuts. 8 days, tell you about tomorrow when we get there. Born day today, Zeppo Marx, one of the 5 famous Marx brothers, comedian, born 1901. Jim Backus, actor, known most famously for his character as Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island. He was born 1913. Karen Grassel, apparently she's still alive. She would be 84. She was Caroline Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie back in the day. So actress Karen Grassel, born on this day, 1942. And born on this day, 1971, actor who played Mikey Walsh in The Goonies. He's also apparently in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I wasn't aware of that. And he also played Rudy in the movie of the same name, Sean Astin. Jack, thoughts? Good actor, huh?
Good actor. I got no problem with Shawnee boy, but Rudy just sucks, and it's one of the most unwatchable sports films ever, and I will always crap on it, and I don't care what anybody on the text line says if they love it. I have been very adamant. You know what? I'll go as far to say this.
Okay.
It nearly rivals Rookie of the Year for me. Nearly does.
I figured.
And it has nothing to do with the directing, the plot, none of that. It's that Rudy himself is so insufferable in that movie, and I just know that college athletes, Division I guys, would not treat him. He would never get a standing ovation after quitting the team and walking back into practice. Never would happen. Give me a break. If that happened, you would be made fun of so much. And by the way, the coach would probably make you run like crazy if you did that, even if you were a walk-on. You quit the team, miss practice, and then walk back in the middle of practice. Come on now.
Yeah, you got a
at
point.
Notre Dame,
at
Notre Dame, in the height of their dominance, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah. More movie talk from Jack coming up later. Here's what we're going to talk about. We will talk about, since I wasn't here and on when Jack was at spring training, we're going to have a little spring training talk. And then I will share with you some of the best and brightest shortstops in the game of baseball today via Buster Olney's article on ESPN.com. And I'll reveal who he thinks the best shortstop is. And it's a satisfying number one, put it that way. So a little baseball talk, spring training style here in the opener. And then at 12:25, we'll talk to, speaking of shortstops, Wichita State shortstop, Alex Ulloa, transfer from FIU. We'll talk to him. He had a huge game and a historic game on Sunday, the opening game of the doubleheader against Hawaii. They entertain Omaha this weekend, coming up starting tomorrow. So Alex Ulloa will join us on the hotline coming up at 12:25. 12:45, we got the Twitter question. And at ESPN Wichita, by the way. That's where that is. How do you get started in the morning? That's the question on Twitter, as far as what do you put in your body? What do you ingest to get you going? So that's up right now. Head on over there, vote, repost if you don't mind. And then the aforementioned Jack Johnson will review a movie, and it is White Men Can't Jump from back in the day, starring Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. So that comes your way at 1 o'clock. And that's brought to you by Boulevard Theaters, our movie review. So tune in for that if you like Jack's reviewing of old movies. And then at 1:25, the one and only Mike Kennedy will join us, voice of the Shockers, in his swan song as the basketball season is winding down. He was honored on Saturday at halftime of the Temple game. We'll get his thoughts on that. Who all was down there with him? Who did he share that moment with? The nuttiness that was that double overtime game against ECU. Get his thoughts on that and many other things, many topics to cover in Mike's long and illustrious career behind the mic. So we'll talk to Mike at 1:25 or so. And then I'm old Jack Young at the end of the show, and we'll get you ready for the Pulse with Pat coming up from 2 to 4. All right, Jack, first of all, bring you in very early here, so we can wrap up the segment here in a little bit. Get ready for Alex Uloa, who's going to call. Thumbnail sketch the spring training trip for me when you were down there. I saw a good amount of your interviews, and I know the boys in my absence aired a bunch of them in your visits with Royals down there in Surprise. Just give me an overall thumbnail sketch of your time down there, how much you enjoyed it, what in particular, besides sitting down and talking to these guys, what did you do? What did you see? And how could maybe people that haven't been to spring training yet in their lives make that a destination trip? Because I would highly recommend, and I think you probably would too, wouldn't you?
Oh, no doubt, man. If you're a big baseball fan, you're a diehard baseball fan, it's a trip that is made for you. You can spend multiple weeks there if you have the money and you want to, because can't beat Arizona weather. You can't beat going to games for $5 and just being in a front row seat to watch stars of this game. And even though it's exhibition, it's baseball, as I always like to say. You get to watch live baseball in 75-degree weather in February. You can't really beat that, in my opinion. And as for the trip, I mean, every year I say this, that I just love to be there a couple more weeks if I could, just because there's so much going on. You show up to the complex early, you get to talk to the players, you get to see the work on the backfields, you get to talk to coaches. And the longer you're down there, you just kind of become a part of everything, and people kind of treat you like, hey, you're around here. I mean, the amount of coaches you walk by, they know your name now and they say what's going on. Same thing for the players. That part's really cool. As somebody that's grown up my entire life, idolizing baseball players and wanting so badly to cover the sport and be out there, and then to be on a level where you kind of earn that respect, just where, you're not being this, like, here's the only downside to it. The reason I tell this story, the only downside is that there's a bunch of losers out there that are the signing autographs and sell the cards. They're pushing kids over to go and do it. I mean,
I feel like that used to not be a thing, but that's a pitfall now. Yeah, that's terrible.
And let me be very, very clear, because I know we probably have people listening that are card collectors and they go for autographs. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about the people that go and get stuff autographed. They got binders. That's not it at all. I'm talking about the weirdos that are sprinting and harassing players and shoving kids out of the way so that they can stick a ball in front of a player's face. I mean, the amount of guys that were sprinting toward Bobby Wood Jr. and Jack Caglione and hounding them all the way back to the clubhouse, where they'd say repeatedly, sorry, guys, I got to go do this. Sorry, guys, I got to go do this. And they wouldn't drop it. It was just crazy to me. And these are grown men. I know grown men that probably live alone, but grown men out there that are behaving like weirdos. And I had no issue calling them losers out there, because you don't treat kids like that. You don't treat players like that and invade their personal space. And we all know the case here. They're taking the cards and they're selling them online for money. It's just, it was ridiculous to me. That was the only downside. But the reason I say that is when you're walking around the complex and you're not looked at as the type of people that are causing that type of havoc, it is very peaceful. It is very cool to almost walk around like this business atmosphere of, you've got a job to do, I've got a job to do, and we're all kind of just cohesively working together, living together around the same complex. Yeah. And that part is so cool in baseball, because that's when the season starts, really. I mean, people will say, oh, opening day is when it starts for me, or maybe you don't really follow baseball that closely. To me, when you get the opportunity to see it from day one and then follow the team to its finish line, whether that's in September or that's deep into October, to me, that is such a special feeling. Just because you know these storylines from the beginning. Whether that team's going to be good or bad, you get this initial meet and greet, if you will, of new players that are in camp. You get to talk to the coaches in queue for the first time. You're mingling with other reporters out there. And what's awesome about it is there's about 5 of us. There's about 6 of us media-wise. So you're not, fighting over 30 other people that are trying to ask the same questions as you are. Yeah. Royals PR always does one hell of a job of setting stuff up, letting people know when things are happening, where to go, where stuff is going to be. Players this year, I mean, look, I also understand part of the media. Not everybody needs to be as open or willing to do interviews. Man, this team, I'm not saying previous teams weren't. They were so great when it came to giving 2 to 3 minutes of your time or setting stuff up later and being communicative about it. And as a media member, I can always appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Because these guys don't owe us anything. They really don't. I know there's some media,
especially not at spring training. Those games don't actually count. Yeah.
They don't. And these guys have a job to do. They're going and taking BP. They're doing fielding drills. Then afterwards, hey, if I was getting to the complex at 6 a.m. like a lot of these guys are, I want to go home at 2. And a lot of these guys are like, hey, yeah, come grab me after practice. I'd love to do an 8 to 10 minute interview. And they were talkative, and they're going into the baseball ass. And that's such an awesome moment, because when I watch sports, and I know when you watch sports, Shane, to wrap this up quickly, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but we watch them from the TV most of the time. And what do we do with players when you're mad about a game? Well, you start bashing the players. You don't know them. And it's like, you play for my team, and if you don't play well, I don't like you, right? You annoy me. And more often than not, we don't know anything about those players. We don't know what they like to do. We don't know how they are, how polite they are. And not everybody's going to be that way. Sometimes there's a terrible player who's also a terrible dude, and they're just going to be an ass to you no matter what. There's also guys, too, that I've also loved to follow that maybe weren't the best player, but they were just incredibly likable. They were incredibly charismatic. And that, to me, matters. And it kind of changes your perception when you're watching these games. And I'm somebody that gets fired up. You know, when my team loses, I'm certainly frustrated. But when it comes to the Royals, when you cover them and you talk with these guys, it makes the game so much more enjoyable. Kind of, even if it's for 15 minutes, you know who they are. You've talked to them before, and you kind of know a little bit of how they tick. Whereas in a lot of the sports, I have not ever met one Chiefs player. Never have. And I'm not sure that I'd ever really get that opportunity. But to me, it's just, that's baseball. It's what makes it awesome. It's a sport that plays nearly every single day. There's 162 of them. For a lot of people, it's hard to stay focused with it. And I'm just somebody that enjoys every bit of it. Exhibition games, love them. WBC, love it. Games that might be 3 innings long or split squad stuff, love it.
Right.
Can't get enough of it. And that's really what spring training is. If you haven't been down there and you're a baseball fan, or even an average baseball fan, it is one of the most enjoyable things you can do in sports.
The access is amazing. I don't know about now. I think it's still the way it used to be, but you'll never be able to get closer. And Jack talked about the psychos that are grown adults getting autographs and selling them online. But to Jack's point, you have access to these players. Unlike the regular season, there's no way you get as close to them in the regular season unless you line up on the rail and, you know, wait for them to walk by and ask for an autograph like that. But it's different in spring training, different good. And as Jack mentioned, going to games cheaper. I don't know about the food or the drink prices at the ballparks, but they are pretty much all sold out. The stadiums aren't as big down there as they are in the big leagues, but they're exciting. And your guy, whether he's going to play or not, that depends, obviously. They're not going to play every day, and they're certainly not going to play all 9 innings. But it's a really unique experience. If you like baseball at all, I highly encourage, especially in Arizona, where it doesn't rain as much as it does in Florida. Now, you want to go to Florida and watch your favorite team in spring training down there, then certainly I wouldn't fight you on that. But spring training is really, really cool. And if you haven't been, you'll be amazed at the experience that you have. One more bit of news before we move on. Buster Olney, baseball insider for ESPN.com. You see him on TV all the time during baseball season. He's ranked his top 10 shortstops in the big leagues. And when you stop and think about it, that position to me is, I don't know if this is a golden age of shortstops, but I think it's pretty close, because in Buster's top 10, Ellie De La Cruz is 9th. And if you know anything about him, the Reds kind of a freakish athletic shortstop. If he's the 9th best shortstop in baseball, then you got something at the shortstop position. And not that this is the end all be all or a situation where you get angry at, but Bobby Witt Jr. is his top shortstop. Royals fans certainly would agree. But he had a nice little write-up on Bobby Witt Jr. If you're into that, head on over to ESPN.com rather, and click on the MLB tab, and you can scroll down. You can see his story. But if you haven't read it, here's what Buster Olney says about Bobby Witt Jr. He checks every box. Elite defense, kind of hitter who can anchor a lineup, power, and lots of speed. After a 9.4 WAR season in 2024, he generated 7.1 last season, which was third most in the American League and would have been enough to lead the National League position players. Led the majors in hits and doubles. He also had the best defensive metrics of any shortstop and swiped 38 bases in 47 attempts. And Witt's drive to improve is relentless. J.J. Picola, head of baseball operations for the Royals, wrote in a text, quote, "Witt is so easy to deal with because he takes such good care of himself that we have little to no concern. More of what we discuss with him is how we can keep him fresh and strong throughout the season. Some of the finer points of base stealing are things that are always being discussed, but he is clearly a very good base runner," end of quote. I think that quote is awesome when it comes to the first sentence there, of what JJ texted to Buster. Takes such good care of himself that we have little to no concern. So he's the number one shortstop in a crop of shortstops that are amazing. If you haven't heard of Geraldo Perdomo, he's the second best with Arizona. And you probably haven't heard much about him because he plays in Arizona. But Gunnar Henderson's third, Frankie Lindor fourth, Corey Seager, Trey Turner, Jeremy Pena. Mookie Betts is eighth, and then De La Cruz 9, and Willie Adames is 10 in Buster's top 10 shortstops in Major League Baseball. Honorable mention, Dansby Swanson for the Cubs and Jacob Wilson for the Athletics. So good read. And get you ready for spring training baseball, which will get you ready for regular season baseball as we get a little closer to that. Speaking of shortstops in baseball, Alex Ulloa, Wichita State's shortstop, will join us when we come back here on the Shane Dennis Show.
You're listening to the Shane Dennis Show on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
If you're balancing work, raising kids, and helping your parents, Kansas PACE is here to support you. They coordinate doctor visits, prescriptions, therapies, home assistance, transportation, and a day center filled with engaging activities. Your parents get compassionate, expert care, and you get relief from the constant worry and stress. Kansas PACE helps older adults stay safe and independent while you take care of your own life, guilt-free. Discover how Kansas PACE can help your family today at kansaspace.org.
Get ready to march into millions at Gillies. This month, Play Rewards members have the chance to win big, and we mean big. Every Saturday in March, 20 lucky Play Rewards members will be selected for a shot at $1 million. That's $4 million up for grabs in March. Beginning Sunday, March 1st, earn entries for the first drawing on Saturday, March 7th. Be sure to activate your entries each Saturday to qualify. And here's a bonus. Earn 2 times entries every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Great.
Don't miss your chance to march into millions at Gillies. Visit playgillies.com for details.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development,
Phillips or Shot?
scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities
I would
as
call
everyone
Phillips.
else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability. They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
Hey, Shocker fans! Wichita State men's basketball tips off against Florida Atlantic on Saturday, March 7th at 3 p.m. inside Charles Koch Arena. It's the last chance to see the Shockers at home this season, so bring the energy and defend the Roundhouse one more time. Don't miss your final opportunity to be part of the home court advantage and cheer on the black and yellow. Secure your seat online at GoShockers.com/tickets or by calling 316-978-FANS.
Wichita's new sports leader, ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Right now, execution becomes the important thing to me, and how you go about that, the discipline of it and how you go about it. It's your responsibility as a player to make sure that you're focused in on that. At the same time, the coach has got to give the player direction to get there.
Wichita's home for Chiefs coverage, ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Where is the moment we needed the most? You kick up the leaves.
Daniel Powder, born day today. That's, you had a bad day. 12:25, Shane Dennis Show, Jack Johnson alongside. Jump on the hotline right now, and we talk to a current Shocker baseball player, Wichita State, getting set to play a 4-game series against Omaha starting tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. They just got back from Hawaii, swept the doubleheader on Sunday, and a guy that was right in the middle of everything, and we'll talk about that in a second. Alex Ulloa, first-year shortstop, the transfer from FIU, Florida native, joins us on the hotline right now. Alex, thanks for taking some time. How are you?
Of course, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You get rested up after that trip back from Hawaii?
Yeah, starting to feel a little normal, a little jet lagged after about 12-hour flights and a lot of travel, but feeling good now.
Very good. Very good. We'll get to your exploits in Hawaii in a second. I want to go back to you and your growing up and going to high school in the state of Florida, and your first stop after high school was Yavapai. How in the world did you make it out of the state of Florida, and how is your stop in 2022 at Yavapai College?
Yeah, I mean, after I didn't sign out of the draft, I wanted to kind of see if I could get drafted again after 1 year in JUCO. And the coaches at Oklahoma State I was committed to at the time actually helped me find a JUCO. They got me in contact with Yavapai, and I loved the idea of going to go play in a Wood Bat League. That sounded like it'd be something that would appeal to the draft. Wood Bat, of course. And then, I mean, they got me in contact with Yavapai, and just went from there. It was a nice place. I loved it, and had a good time after my first year, my coach left, so decided to go back home to Miami-Dade. That makes sense. I was going to ask you about that. Miami-Dade, for those that don't know, Alex, is a legendary junior college in Florida. And how did you feel like that prepared you for the 2 years that you went to FIU? Yeah, I mean, it was basically just staying home. I got to go to FIU and stay in Miami and train how I wanted to train with the people I wanted to train with, and continue to improve on my game. And I mean, I loved it. One of the coaches at FIU was a longtime scout for the Yankees that I had scouted me in high school a lot, and we had built a relationship in high school. And then once he became a coach at FIU, we maintained in contact, and he's still to this day like one of my a close guy to me, someone who really who guided me well and was a good mentor towards me. His name's Brian Geralman.
Alex Ulloa joining us, shortstop for Wichita State, spent 2 years at Florida International, as he just alluded to, started all 115 games over 2 years at FIU, hit .301 with 18 total home runs and 79 runs batted in at FIU. Just give us a thumbnail sketch of your time at FIU. You talked about your closeness with your coach, but how was the experience playing there and being able to play in your home state?
Oh, yeah, it was always fun. I mean, we always had some competitive teams. We weren't one of the best rosters around, but we always were pretty competitive. And I think Coach did a good job of building a culture that, I mean, FIU had been known for a while that they couldn't win in Miami. So to have a winning season there and then build them up from where they were was great, because, I mean, it's awesome to come in and not have a vision, just basically going there off of a vision instead of like what they were, and being able to be a part of something that we built. And I mean, I was happy about my time there. It was great that my family could always come watch and stuff like that, but I was happy for my time, but happy to be here.
Absolutely. Alex Ulloa, Shocker shortstop. He had a historic day on Sunday. We'll talk about that in just a second. What was your first interaction when it came to Wichita State? Who was it with, and how did you get familiar with Wichita State, and maybe what sold you to come here?
Well, the day I entered the portal, I got a very familiar phone call from Coach Marty Lease, who I committed to when I was 16 years old to Oklahoma State. So I've known Marty for we maintained in contact for now about 7 years. So I had a lot of trust in Marty, and I always wanted him to be my infield coach, and he was a great infield guy. And once he called me, we maintained in contact through my time in the portal, and they kept pursuing, and I knew this is where I was wanted, and I knew Marty. I trusted Marty in every aspect, and I got to talk to Coach PG a couple times, and I didn't obviously didn't know who he was in the portal yet, but hearing his vision and hearing his plans for this year, I knew this was where I wanted to be, because they wanted to build with me, and I wasn't just a member. I was going to be a part of it, and it sounded like a place I wanted to be, and I was wanted. So I wanted to go where I was wanted, and I trusted Marty with everything, and I was ready to come here.
Did you have any earthly idea about the state of Kansas? You ever been there before? What was your preconceived notions about Kansas? Be honest.
I had not an idea, honestly. I didn't know where Wichita was on a map if you told me before July. So once I researched it, and Marty had called me on FaceTime to show me everything, and I was like starstruck. I couldn't believe that this place looked the way it did, and the facilities we had were ridiculous. So it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
So that's just icing on the cake, the facilities at Wichita State, right?
Yeah. Second to none.
Talking to Alec Uloa, shortstop for Wichita State, by way of Yavapai and Miami-Dade and FIU, and here at Wichita State now, hitting .323 with 11 runs batted in so far this year. We'll talk about the upcoming series against Omaha. We'll also talk about the Hawaii trip as well. But you kind of broached this subject a little bit, Alex, and I want to circle back to it. I want to get your thoughts on this. And you talked about being a part of something, or wanting to be a part of something that was bigger than yourself at FIU. You wanted to build something. You wanted to be a part of something. Brian Green talks a lot about culture and basically the same thing. Talk about the importance of, at your age, you're an older guy. You've kind of been there, done that at every other place. How important is building a culture and being a part of something like this at Wichita State? And did your teammates that you eventually met share that same vision, do you feel like?
Oh, no, of course. I mean, culture is everything. You can have the best players in the world, but if they don't buy into one thing, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, I've been around a lot of teams, and I've seen a lot of good baseball, and the culture we're building here it's winning baseball. It's a lot of guys that are bought into one thing, and they want to. It's just a want to win no matter what. And I'm happy to be a part of a team that everybody's bought in. No one cares about who's playing, who's not. It's just a one common goal to win every day. And I mean, it's just a sign that we're going to keep going no matter what. Like, if we go into Hawaii, we drop a game we probably shouldn't have dropped, got a little jet lagged, but we bounce right back. And the culture that we're instilling is that no matter what happens, we're going to go out there and we're going to win no matter what.
So you dropped the first two games of the Hawaii series, one in really heartbreaking fashion. And the second one, Brady Hamilton gives up 4 and then nothing else after that. And you go into what you thought was going to be the Saturday game, and it rains. The game's postponed, and you guys ended up working out a little bit. Talk us through what was said on that off day, where you went, where you worked out, and maybe what was said within the team, the position players. I mean, of course, you're a shortstop, but what was the message that Brian Green gave you, and what did you get done on that Saturday instead of playing?
Yeah, Saturday was basically just getting a reset, just going back to what we are and what our identity was. We had obviously our office got blanked a little bit on Friday, excuse me. So we went to a little private high school around the area to go hit in Hawaii, and it was just about resetting to where we were, working away, looking to see the ball deep, because, I mean, Hawaii was pitching us away, and we weren't making the adjustment. We got to make the adjustment at DP, and then obviously it translated into Sunday into the doubleheader. And, I mean, the message was just go out there and be us. We weren't us on that Friday night game. The Thursday game was two bad innings that, I mean, happen sometimes, but you got to bounce back. But we didn't make that adjustment quick enough going into Friday night. So it was about, he was reminding us to make the adjustment, to look away, and take away what they're trying to do to us.
Shocker shortstop Alex. Alex Ulloa joining us on the hotline. And then comes Sunday. You got to play a doubleheader on getaway day, and that idea can kind of be daunting in and of itself. But that first game of the doubleheader, you knew it was going to be a 7-inning game. Talk about that third inning. You guys scored 11 runs. I would guess that maybe you hadn't been a part of an inning quite like that. But talk about maybe the contagious nature of hitting once things got rolling in that 11-run third inning. That had to feel great at the plate and kind of allow everybody to exhale a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, once we're all doing our job and all on the same page, it was, it was obviously pretty fun when you're scoring 11 runs in an inning. So, I mean, if everyone's doing their job, everyone's looking to do their job, that's when things get rolling, because it just starts with one thing, one walk, another walk, and then one hit, and it explodes into fun.
I bet. 11 runs and 8 hits in that inning, and you had 2 of them. They both were doubles, and they both came with the bases loaded. Talk us through that first at bat and maybe the weight that you let off your shoulders. You did have you're 1 for 3 in the Friday game, but that first at bat when you came up the bases loaded, talk us through your thought process and your approach up there at the plate.
I mean, they had been I knew that they were going to try and flip over 2 breaking balls. They had tried it basically throughout the whole weekend to where they would go early, flip over breaking balls. They were kind of pitching me backwards. So they flipped one over, and then as soon as I saw the first one, I was sitting on the second one. And he threw it again. He hit it down the right field. Wasn't trying to do too much, just trying to hit something hard into the outfield, score a run, and went to where no one was. And that was a bases clearing double. And that felt, great. And I was really just trying to get the ball in the air, do my job. And a lot more happened when you think small, big things happen.
So later on in the inning, Alex comes up again with the bases loaded. As you're walking toward the home plate, what was going through your mind?
I kind of chuckled to myself. I was like, well, this looks familiar. And then I had told somebody, I was like, I got to do the same thing, right? And I did. When I got to second, our first base coach came out to collect my stuff, and I looked at him. I was like, well, that was deja vu.
Did you have?
I was just trying to do my job, just trying to hit something hard, and again, I hit another double. So I was like, well, that was pretty cool.
So he clears him off again, 2 3-run doubles in the same inning, and after some exhaustive research, Denny Gehrig, our sports information director for baseball at Wichita State, discovered that was the most RBI in one inning in Shocker history. Do you realize that?
That's pretty cool.
And you hit another double later on in the game. So you end up with 3 doubles and 6 RBI, and all 6 came in the same game. I want to get your thoughts, since you brought it up, set and breaking ball. Would 2022's Alex Ulloa set on a breaking ball, or is that just come from experience and trusting yourself in that if the guy throws me a fastball, so what? Because I know I'm going to get a breaking ball eventually. I'm going to sit on it and hammer it. Would a younger Alex Ulloa do something like that?
Oh, probably not. I don't think I even learned how to hit a breaking ball till I got to Division I. I had struggled early on in my career with chase and breaking balls. I had a little bit more of a bigger swing and coming out of high school, but yeah, with experience, I've learned how to hit them, how to sit on them, and yeah, definitely in 2022, I definitely wouldn't have been sitting on that in that count either.
What about playing in front of those fans of Hawaii? Does that rival anywhere else that you've played throughout your career? And what was maybe the most similar to the hostile crowd like it was at Hawaii anywhere else?
Yeah, that was fun. I like crowds. I like when people are getting into it. I hope we win enough games to where Wichita is packed like that pretty soon. But the only other place I could think of that was that full was we had played Iowa my first year at FIU. We went to Iowa and we'd played at the Iowa Cubs Stadium, and they sold out all 3 games. So it was like 10,000 fans, which is pretty cool. But the Hawaii fans, they were rowdy. it was like island baseball. It's kind of like I'm Dominican, so I've seen like how island baseball goes. And you go to the games, and they get pretty rowdy, and they were pretty. It was pretty fun to see.
Alex Uloa, the shortstop for Wichita State, joining us, hitting .323 on the young season, 11 RBIs so far this year. 6 of them came in 1 inning against Hawaii. Final question before we let you go, Alex. Really appreciate your time. Who were maybe some infielders that you looked up to as you were growing up? Some of your heroes in Major League Baseball.
I mean, I've always loved Lindor. He's always been my favorite infielder. I've always tried to learn from his infield play and how he goes about his business. He takes everything like a professional, and obviously he's one of the best defensive shortstops probably of all time.
Got Omaha coming in starting tomorrow afternoon, 3:00 first pitch, same on Friday, and then single games on Saturday and Sunday as well. Alex, best of luck this weekend, the rest of the year. Good health, too. Congratulations on your historic game of the doubleheader, and thanks for taking some time, man. Appreciate you.
No, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Alex Uloa, shortstop for Wichita State. He's 10 for his first 31 with 5 doubles. 3 of them came in 1 game. 2 of them came in 1 inning. They were both with the bases loaded. He knocked in 6 in 1 inning. And in case you missed it, that has never been done in the history of Shocker baseball, according to research. 6 RBI in 1 inning, an all-time program record. And Alex Uloa, in his first year of the program, has that and always will have that Hawaii game on Sunday, February 22nd, a game he'll likely never forget. All right. Again, the Omaha Mavericks coming in on the weekend. That'll get you prepped for a big Shocker sports weekend. And it'll start actually with the Thursday game against Omaha at 3. And then later on that night, we will have Shocker basketball against Memphis to bear down on and watch. And to that end, coming up here in about 35, 40 minutes or so, we'll talk to the voice of the Shockers, Mike Kennedy, get his thoughts on the Memphis game, and also get him to reflect on his day that he had Saturday. And it was his day. It was Mike Kennedy Day at Charles Koch Arena as he makes his farewell swan song stretch of the basketball season. He's going to retire at the end of baseball season. We'll get his thoughts on all that good stuff coming up in hour number 2. So if you like the Shockers, hopefully you like that interview with Alex Uloa. And I know you're going to love the interview with Mike Kennedy. He is going to make some time for us in hour number 2, 125, the slot that Mike will be in. Prior to that, Jack will have a movie review. It's kind of an oldie but a goodie, White Men Can't Jump, starring Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. Jack will review that coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. And then coming up next, though, we need to get to the Twitter question brought to you by Ribbit Computers. It's how you start your day. What do you ingest? How do you kickstart things on a normal day? We'll talk about that at ESPN Wichita. You can go vote and repost. We would love for you to do so on our socials. Again, we are live streaming. If you're new to the program, if you're late, join us a little bit late and you want to watch us when we're here at the stadium at Equity Bank Park. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and our YouTube channel. Search ESPN Wichita. You can watch us. And on the lower part of the crawl, we've got our schedule of the show, what's going to be coming up next, what we're going to talk about. So if you want to follow along that way, we'd love for you to do that. Speaking of socials, we'll check out Twitter at ESPN Wichita. What do you drink to kickstart your day? We'll tell you the results and come back with much more after this, 1244.
The Shane Dennis Show will be right back on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Hey, it's Sean Tarbell with Davis Moore Chevrolet. And this February, you are going to love the huge savings we have on trucks and SUVs. Check out the all-new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT 4x4 and save up to $12,000 off MSRP. Or get 1.9% financing. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Chevy Equinox EV RS all-wheel drive. Go farther and drive smarter. Together, let's drive at Davis Moore Chevrolet. Or check us out online at davis-moorechevrolet.com. All offers plus tax and administrative fees expire March 2nd, 2026.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalize this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks? Oh, seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
If you or a loved one has been a victim of personal injury, including medical malpractice and vehicle accidents, do not hesitate to call Prochaska, Howell & Prochaska. For more than 38 years, their experienced team has helped fight for your rights regardless of your legal status. They guarantee there will be no cost until they win. PHP will be there to assist you and help you navigate the complicated legal process. Call them now at 316-683-9080 or find them online at phpattorneys.com to schedule your free consultation today.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development, scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities as everyone else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability. They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM, your radio home of the Kansas Jayhawks, the Wichita Wind Surge, the Dallas Cowboys, the Wichita Open, the college football playoffs, and the national championship, the World Series, the NBA playoffs, the Big 12 championship, and the best coverage of the Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, Wildcats, and Shockers. Locally owned and operated. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Being sent up and I've been shut down. You're the best thing that I've ever found. And only with her.
George Harrison, Born Day. That's the Traveling Wilburys. Remember them? It's 12:48. A couple things to get to here. First, the Twitter question. It's brought to you today by Ribbit Computers. Hey, Wichita, if you got a broken phone, cracked screen, dead battery not charging, whatever the problem, Ribbit Computers has you covered. They've been Wichita's go-to for fast, affordable phone repairs for over 20 years. Most fixes are done same day and walk-ins are always welcome. So don't wait days or spend a fortune. Hop into Ribbit Computers, get your phone back up and running today. The Ribbit Computers Twitter question today is, what do you drink to kickstart your day? At ESPN Wichita. What do you drink to kickstart your day? Coffee, tea, soda, or energy drink? Which one of those would you go for of those four? And if not, write in. Chance suggested something that we both, and I don't want to throw him under the bus, but we both decided against it kind of after we workshopped it a little bit, and I'll get Jack's thoughts on this in a sec. But so far, 33% of you say soda. It's still early, so just a handful of votes out there. You got all the rest of the day and into tomorrow to vote and repost. If you drink something to start your day, what is it? 33.3% of you, soda, and all the other three are tied for second. So it's a close vote between coffee, tea, and energy drink. Jack's an energy drink guy, and I guess I get that, although, Jack, I'm a little worried about you, so I want to make sure that you don't have issues with your blood pressure. What are energy drinks bad for? Your heart? Like if you drink too much? I feel like it is, right?
Yeah, and it also depends on the energy drink that you're drinking. So I don't do Red Bull or Monster anymore.
Okay.
I think if you drink those, it's not going to be too great for you because there's so much liquid in there and there's so much bad. And they're not saying the energy drinks that I do drink don't have something that's probably not great for you. But let's be honest. I mean, what a drink that stimulates you like this, where it gives you that caffeine boost, is 100% phenomenal for you.
None.
Like, we all do it for the caffeine boost. Exactly.
Yeah.
I drink Celsius and Alani's. So those are a little bit smaller, and in fact, quite a bit smaller. They're about half the size of a Monster or a Red Bull. Actually, around the same size of a Red Bull, but definitely not a Monster. They have better taste, in my opinion. And I want to say the Alani actually I just threw it away, actually, because I finished it not too long ago.
Okay.
If I were to read you the back of it, what all goes into it, you'd be pleasantly surprised at what all goes into it. And I think it tastes really good. I mean, that's what matters to me as well. I'm not one of those people that can just choke down black coffee. You can call me soft.
No, and I understand that.
My
brother-in-law is that way too. He can't stand it, but he needs something to get him going. So I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to have something to get me going. If I had to drink black coffee, sure, I'd be fine with it, just because I really care more about the caffeine boost. But if I want to wake up and have a leisurely time, or I want to enjoy getting jump started at work, I'd like to have a good taste in my mouth when I'm drinking this energy drink.
Right.
So yeah, Alani's and Celsius is what I've been drinking for about 3 to 4 years now.
Celsius is something that Chance introduced me to, and it's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Very tasty.
That's
Lots
not
of flavors
bad
too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. He originally suggested a cold shower. Have you ever purposely taken one, Jack?
I have.
Okay, what's it do for you? Discuss.
Yeah. Well, so I can admit that for a typical work morning, I don't know if I've ever taken a cold shower, but I want to say that this has helped me before, and it's one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. So I was on a trip with friends. Our friend group went, to Mexico, I believe it was, and the first day we got down there, it was that typical, you get off the plane, you've been drinking on the plane, like Dirk Bentley likes to say, and went straight to the resort, continued drinking. It's all inclusive. I had more than my fair share of shots. Anyway, I woke up the next morning in hell. Like, I felt horrible. And I'm like, this is day one. I don't want to be down for the first day of the trip here. We got lots of going on, and I'm sure people are going to get back up on the wagon rather quickly, but I felt terrible. Went to have breakfast, one of that feeling where you go, oh, nothing sounds good. Not hungry. Don't believe I can keep anything down. So anyways, I go, you know what? I've done cold plunges before, and it just almost immediately shocks your system.
Yeah.
Or whatever you're feeling, whether you're sick, you're hungover, or you need a wake-up call, it has to be frigid cold. So I hop in the shower, and I turn it on the cold level where you're basically just, your teeth are chattering, you're shaking in the shower.
Yeah.
It's hard to breathe, too.
Yep.
Like, it's real. You're almost hyperventilating. Now, it sounds terrible, but I stood in there on that temperature for about 5 minutes.
Wow.
And when I tell you that this immediately cured every bad feeling I had in my body, I'm not lying. Headache, gone. Nausea, gone. I felt as if I had just taken morphine almost. I felt incredible and woken up. So people that do it, I understand why you do it, because you wouldn't need any energy drink. You wouldn't need any coffee. It's just incredibly uncomfortable. And it kind of comes down to, are you that tired? If I was pulling an all-nighter studying or whatnot, and you need to have that boost and you don't have time to run to the gas station, 2 to 5 minute freezing cold shower shocks your system and your nerve system in a way nothing else can. But it has to be on the most frigid temperatures, and you have to stand in there for longer than 30 seconds because it is such a jolt. And I can't recommend it enough. And that my story is a bit extreme where you're dealing with a hangover, but we all know how terrible you feel if you just nursed a hangover for 10 to 12 hours. You want to get it gone in a minute, 5 minutes, that's the way to do it.
So you've never gone back to that knowing that it does what it does to your body? Like, you've never voluntarily gotten up, taken a cold shower to see what your day would be like, even if you felt okay?
No, and really I would say that it has to be a specific temperature outside for me too. I would never, and this is psychotic behavior. If it was 10 degrees outside, you could not pay me to get into a cold shower. I mean, I would rather, I don't even know. I probably can't say it on this air what I'd rather do, but it certainly wouldn't be very good. The reason I can do those cold showers in 90-degree weather, it's like, okay, let me get this done, and then I can go walk outside where I'm gonna, be sunburned and have the sun rays hitting me, and all the frigid temperatures on my body will be washed away quickly. For the people that can get in cold showers and then put on a suit and tie and go downtown for work where it's snow on the ground and it's freezing, you're just built differently. You have a different mentality than the rest of us. To me, though, no. I have always had enough time in the morning. I'm an early riser to get woken up. If I'm in a pinch, I'm still going to go to a gas station and get an energy drink or coffee. If I was in a dire situation, as I was in Mexico those years ago, then yeah,
maybe so. Okay,
it's almost like the IV bags or the injections you need to just get rid of that feeling immediately.
Man, one of these days I might give it a shot, but I can think back of all the accidental cold showers that you forced to take because you don't have any hot water. Man, I couldn't wait to get out of there. That's for sure. And okay, maybe you're challenging me, Jack. So part of the really, really cool. Well, first of all, we have a cool job. Let's be honest. What we do is pretty cool. We just had some grade school kids from Derby came in this morning, and we showed them around the place. It was me and Chance and Zach Cooper, our account exec, and we were showing the kids around. There was probably 25 or 30 of them, a couple of their teachers, and got to show them around here at Equity Bank Park and our studio here at the stadium as well. And part of the coolness, the cool factor that we get to enjoy is that we get sneak peeks of what's going on in the stadium during baseball season, once baseball season gets here. And Tim Grubbs, the play-by-play guy and community relations guy and media relations guy as well, who, all these minor league staff members wear a lot of hats. And Tim lets us know some of the promotions that are going to go on during WinSurge home games. And it was announced today that Joey Chestnut, the greatest competitive eater of all time, is going to be here Friday, April the 17th. It'll be part of Chili Buns weekend, and Chestnut will take part in a pregame meet and greet with fans as the WinSurge play as the Chili Buns. He holds more than 50 world records in competitive eating, including the hot dog eating contest, 76 hot dogs and buns during the 2021 Nathan's hot dog eating contest, most famously. Last July 4th, matter of fact, that's when they had that, won his 17th hot dog eating contest by eating 70 and a half in those 10 minutes. He's also a 9-time world rib eating champion and a 6-time U.S. chicken wing eating champion. So when you hold more than 50 world records, you're pretty versatile. He'll also compete in a chili bun eating contest. And a pair of fans will have the opportunity to compete against him, and will have a limited time to eat as many chili buns as they can in front of the fans. So that'll be kind of cool for a couple of fans if you can stand it. Although I can think of way worse things to shove down your gullet than chili buns. They're great. I don't know who would dispute that. The chili buns debuted in 2024 as an homage to a Midwestern / Wichita food dish. I was unfamiliar, honestly, the combination of chili and cinnamon rolls or cinnamon buns, but they're going to bring it back in 2026. The team will wear chili buns caps and uniforms, and the concession stands will feature several chili bun food options, as the team will have several chili-themed promotions on that day. Again, that is April 17th. It's on a Friday. So if you want to buy tickets for that particular game, tickets are currently on sale at the box office and online at winsurge.com. And Joey Chestnut will be here for a meet and greet, and he will challenge 2 lucky, I suppose, fans in a chili bun eating contest. The team will have chili buns merchandise on sale, special ticket plans, VIP meet and greet opportunities for you too. So if you want to head on over to winsurge.com, do that. You want to swing by here? You want to go by the box office? then push a button and ask the questions, and they'll hook you up for April 17th and all the possibilities that you have to meet Joey Chestnut and watch Wind Surge play Friday, April 17th as the Chili Buns. Wind Surge, one of several clubs that will welcome Joey Chestnut to their lineup of family-friendly ballpark experiences this season, and Equity Bank Park will be one of them. Surge open up the 2026 season April 2nd against Northwest Arkansas, coming up a little bit later on this spring. When we come back, our movie review brought to you by Boulevard Theaters. We'll tell you what, and Jack will lay it on us when we return, hour 2.
Wichita's sports leader. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. KKGQ Newton.
NBA Saturday Prime Time on ESPN Radio. The fight for a spot in the postseason is heating up.
Luka Doncic from half court.
Luka, LeBron, and the LA Lakers are in San Francisco for a showdown with the Golden State Warriors.
Out to Horford for 3.
The Lakers at the Warriors. Coverage begins Saturday at 8 Eastern with tip-off at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
Wichita's home for the NBA. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
The future will be amazing, and that's all well and good. But what about today? You can feel the rush of a 400 horsepower Nissan Z, or climb to new heights in the all-terrain Nissan Frontier. Light up the road in the all-electric Nissan Aria that feels like a sci-fi dream come true. The future will be great, but today is made for thrill. All you have to do is get in a Nissan and drive. 2023 Aria and Z not yet available for purchase. Expected availability is this spring for 2023 Z and this fall for 2023 Aria.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart, and I have a question for you. You know that unwelcome guest everyone wishes would just leave already? That's COVID-19. That's why I got an updated booster designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. Got it? Check eligibility and schedule your updated COVID booster at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Big or small, every project deserves a win. From updating your fireplace to creating the perfect patio, Lusco Brick and Stone gives you the strength and style to get it done right. For more than a century, Wichita families and builders have trusted Lusco for brick, stone, and hardscape materials that outlast the competition and bring lasting beauty to every project. Check out their work online at luscobrick.com. Lusco Brick and Stone, Wichita strong since 1907.
Your home for the best Royal Spring training coverage. ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
The mental part is the growing up at this level and understanding that there's going to be failures and how you deal with those.
This bullpen is extremely deep. There's a lot of talent here, a lot of guys with a lot of really great stuff.
When you have a manager like you, adding a switch hitter this year, I thought was big as well because that's one less move he has to worry about.
For the latest on the Kansas City Royals, keep it right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Stuart Wood from the Bay City Rollers, born today. Time now for our movie review. Jack will give us his thoughts on a past, most of the time, sports-related movie. So get your popcorn ready. It's time for ESPN Wichita's movie review, brought to you by Boulevard Theaters. Looking for your next movie night? Head to Boulevard Theaters, where luxury seating meets the latest blockbusters. Kick back and enjoy the show in style. Go to blvdtheaters.com for showtimes. Jack is going to review a 1992 American sports comedy film written and directed by Ron Shelton, starring Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, and others. It's called White Men Can't Jump. The film got generally positive reviews, made a lot of money at the box office. It's about a couple of street hustlers playing basketball. One's white, one's black. If you haven't seen it, and in the title, of course, it's about Woody Harrelson. He tried to dunk during the movie, et cetera, et cetera. White Men Can't Jump. Jack, lay it on us. What do you think about White Men Can't Jump? The storyline, the acting, the basketball playing, all that.
Well, number one, the basketball playing is really good. That goes without saying. I mean, this is when we found out that Woody Harrelson was damn good at shooting the ball, and Wesley Snipes was a much better basketball player than he was a baseball player in Major League. I always love that comment made about Major League, that he was so bad at playing baseball that they had to turn the camera rather quickly when he would swing or do anything in the outfield, because it's what an actor should be when playing a hard sport like baseball or basketball. Most of these guys can't do it no matter how much training you have. And when I'm watching any movie or I'm around friends, you can always tell who grew up playing a sport and who didn't. And there's no amount of time you could have training that would change that. You can't look as fluid as some guys are who are just naturally gifted at playing a certain sport. And both Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, in this movie at least, appeared to be very fluent in playing basketball. And for somebody that basketball was my main sport, as much as I love baseball and talk about baseball, basketball was the sport I played the longest, went the furthest in. And so, yeah, from a young age, I definitely related to White Men Can't Jump. Now, I was never as good as Billy Hoyle was in the movie, but how many of us in high school and playing AU ball tried to mimic that of hey, be this goofy looking white guy that might be able to play a little better than you think. And the humorous part about this movie is, it brings upon that natural stereotype of if you were to go and play pickup ball anywhere. Now they're in LA, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
They're in LA.
Yep.
So if you were to go to one of the courts near the boardwalk and stuff, you probably wouldn't see a lot of Billy Hoyles out there. And so that's what they poke fun at is, it's we're picking guys, right? We're playing 2-on-2. We're playing 5-on-5. A guy like Billy Hoyle is probably not going to be picked up as much. And so they poke fun at that. And then what Billy Hoyle's job is in this movie is to hustle people, to make them think that he's this goofy white guy who can't do anything but maybe shoot a three. And you come to find out he's really damn good. And of course, Sidney, who's played by Wesley Snipes, he's cocky. He's incredibly good. He runs the court almost. And when Billy beats him twice, you've got the knock down a peg, if you will, but also it sparks this idea of why don't we go and play in this tournament and be this duo, if you will, that does not appear they could beat anybody else in 2-on-2, but then have this really good chemistry in the way they play off each other. It's a very enjoyable experience. And though it's not like your typical basketball movie of the coach takes over upstart team like Hoosiers or like Glory Road, it kind of has that appeal to what happens outside of the controlled game, right? I've played plenty of pickup basketball, whether it be in Kansas City or it be on vacation somewhere. And yeah, when you go out there, you got to be tough. You got to be willing to not deal with any fouls. Guys get bloodied. And in this case, some people go and go to his car and get his gun and come back and shoot everybody's ass.
Right.
I've never been in a situation like that. But that's also, what was portrayed so well in this movie, that it is intense. And when money's on the line, it gets even more intense. And so that is the problem in the movie, is that Billy makes his money by hustling people on the court and then running away, because when they find out that he's hustling, as would be in billiards, as would be in poker, you hustle somebody, you might get your ass kicked or worse. And so when they kind of come to find that out, that Billy's a much better basketball player, though can't dunk, as most white players can't dunk unless they're a certain height, they go through this path of basically trying to earn a lot of money to pay off debts from the mob. Now, in the end, it doesn't really work out for Billy and his girlfriend Gloria, who's obsessed with Jeopardy and wants to be wants to be a contestant on the show. Like, they just make their money in an unconventional way, and she ends up winning. I know I didn't watch it very recently, but she ends up winning, like, how much is it?
14 grand. She won 14 grand. Yeah.
So she's clearly incredibly smart. And she's not as thrilled with Billy that he doesn't really have a stable job. His job involves playing basketball and hustling people in pickup games, which I can't really blame her. I mean, she's somebody who's clearly a brainiac and incredibly intelligent, and her boyfriend is running away from people trying to shoot him and trying to swindle people out of their money. It's not an honest way to pay back debt or to just have an income, right? And I guess that's where it runs into an issue for both Sydney and Billy, is the mob catches up to Billy eventually, and he has to pay off his debts. And Gloria also leaves him at the end of the movie. But what was a constant throughout is they built this really good relationship, had this chemistry of how to go about things. And, you know, I didn't grow up back in that time period, but would you agree that it was a great movie culturally at the time?
Yeah.
I would say it came out in 92.
Yep.
And that's always been, that's kind of the humorous part of being a white guy who played basketball, not at the highest level, of course, but that never went away when I was playing. I mean, whether you were playing AAU or high school, 1992 to 2015 to 2017, when you walked into a gym and you saw a white guy out there, and maybe he would be playing in a game where he was the only white guy, he'd have the stereotype of, yep, he's only there to shoot threes. I remember in the Fab Five documentary, what does Jalen Rose say about Rob Pelinka? He's only there to raise the team IQ or GPA.
Team GPA,
Team GPA. And, you know, that's what holds this movie up today. And quite frankly, we'll be able to hold the test of time, is that ain't ever going away. When you watch basketball, right, you watch college or the NBA. I was watching the Iowa State-Utah game last night, and Arizona and Baylor. And now Arizona's got a couple of kids from Europe, and we know that Europe is just a very competitive level too. And you've got guys like Krivas and the other kid who's a really good three-point shooter. They have a different skill set. And then also with Iowa State, it's Milan Momcilovic. But if you were to know nothing about those guys, you just were to watch the game, you'd go, that's the shooter, right? You can follow him around. He's going to be able to shoot it well from three. And they're able to use that too in the movie, which makes it great. Well, Billy can't dunk, white man can't jump. He's just going to be able to shoot free throws and shoot three-pointers if he's open. And sometimes it surprises you. I know that watching all the videos when I was, I guess I would have been in late high school, early college, of Mac McClung, who became this white guy who was throwing back 360s and throwing the ball between his legs and dunking. You're like, who's this guy, right? Who's this white kid who can jump and is in slam dunk competitions that's never heard of? You never can see stuff like that. And now there's great merchandise that comes out of it. I've known a couple of guys that for Halloween went as Sydney and Billy.
Nice.
And you always get a laugh out of that. But overall, I would say for a movie that isn't, I mean, yes, it's a basketball movie. Don't get that twisted. Again, that's the main plot of it all. It's also a good tie to gambling debts, and the mob is tied into this. And then also, and you know, I have to harp on this when it comes to a love story in the movie. Is it distracting or is it important to the movie? This is a movie, it's absolutely important, right? Because it's about how they're trying to make rent. It's how they're trying to make money. And as we see, whether it be our own fault or be through our friends, I've noticed a lot of relationships in my past, mostly through friends of, you know, you had the girl who was highly intelligent and really it was driven and wanted to do great things in the world. Then you had the boyfriend who was kind of
not so much
a low life, a degenerate, right? And wouldn't do things the right way, wouldn't do things ethically. And what's also great about this movie, even though it's kind of sad, is what does she do at the end? She leaves him. Right?
Yep.
And Sydney's even like, oh, Billy, you're better off without her. And though that might not be the case, it was more so about, you know, we got to stay on the court. We had to continue to do these duos and these one-on-ones and go play pickup games. And that's what I always love with movies, is it doesn't have to be this romantic end-all be-all, whether it be a sports movie or an actual rom-com. One of my favorite movies, I can't believe I'm tying this in, is The Breakup. You know about my fandom of The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. They don't end up together because it's realistic.
Yeah.
And in White Man Can't Jump, I think it actually would have hurt the ending to the movie after all that he did and his debt to the mob and him doing this hustling the wrong way. Like, I think it would have been dumb if she, who's so smart and can win money on Jeopardy is like, you know what? He is going to turn his life around. He is going to be able to do something positive and not be gambling and hustling. And what do? The final shot of the film, Shane, they're walking back to the court that they first played on. So basketball is his life. It's Sydney's life as well. And even though he's done with the hustling part of it, I'm not doing that anymore. He truthfully never really escaped it either. It put him in hot water and something that he had to pay up to. It's a good full circle movie is what I would say. And though it's not my most watched basketball movie, it's not my favorite basketball movie. It's enjoyable. And it's one of those where you go, man, 1992, like I said, is when it came out. You can watch it today, and a lot of the stuff still holds up. White men, for the most part, still can't jump. There's not a lot of white dudes.
And they leaned into, I thought this was pretty brilliant. They leaned into the stereotypes because Billy said to, which would have taken a lot of guts. Billy said to Sydney, you guys would rather look good and lose than look bad and win. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit. He was comparing black basketball players to white basketball players. And there was that little bit of friction between the two. Absolutely. And they were the entire movie until the end, like Jack said, when they played basketball at the very end, they were kind of adversaries. They were necessary evils, weren't necessarily friends. They had all kinds of stuff going on with them. Wesley Snipes' character was doing this to try to feed his family because he grew up in the Baldwin Village, was a rough neighborhood in LA. And then of course there's Billy, played by Woody Harrelson. He's a degenerate. He's a gambler. And his girlfriend, who's clearly his better half, Gloria, ends up leading him. And who will ever forget Jeopardy? Foods that begin with the letter Q. That was her big one. That's what got her $14,100 on her first episode. So great movie. I totally agree. It was made for $31 million, made $91 million at the box office, and kind of sort of introduced us to Wesley and Woody. Maybe not necessarily. Woody was on Cheers, of course, and Wesley Snipes. I don't know, forget the actual timeline of his acting chops, but that put him on the map. Would you say, Jack? Fair to say?
I would say, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember when Blade was. Was Blade?
I mean, that's what I was thinking too. I wonder when Blade came out. Although
I want to say like 89, but I know it's not right. I will also say this: I don't know if you ever knew about the remake of White Man Can't Jump.
I just discovered it. I wasn't aware. Was it terrible?
So disgustingly awful.
Okay.
And something they should have left alone to begin with. Number one, stop with remakes of good movies. I get it's a money grab and this and that. Stop trying to mess with that. Any sort of reboot, remake always sucks. It's never as enjoyable as, especially when you're talking about 30 years.
Actually, Major League was it. That was his big one. That was 3 years before White Men Can't Jump.
That was 89, was it not?
That's right. And White Men Can't Jump was 3 years later. Then came Passenger 57. He was in Mo Better Blues in 90. But Major League was his big one.
Maybe Blade was late 90s.
According to the filmology, 98. So far later.
Okay, so late 90s. I don't know why I thought 89.
Same.
Nearly a decade apart there. But still, I would say that, what it teaches you is you don't have to like your teammate if you're making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
They constantly bicker, and he's making fun of Billy for not being able to dunk, but yet when you're making money, put your differences aside and you have that great chemistry. So overall, really good. And I always love to quote I'm heading back to my car to get my other gun, shoot everybody's ass. I use that way too much in my current vocabulary.
There were some uncomfortable moments in the movie too. So it wasn't just a comedy that you're laughing all the way through it. You're kind of on the edge of your seat here and there. All right, that's a good one. That White Man Can't Jump, courtesy of Jack and courtesy of Boulevard Theaters, blvdtheaters.com for showtimes for our good friends down there in Old Town. When we come back, the legendary voice of the Shockers, Mike Kennedy, making his final rounds in men's basketball. And then after the baseball season, he is going to call it a career. Want to get with him, talk to him about Saturday, the halftime presentation with him and the Temple game, get his thoughts and who all was down there with him, who did he share it with, and basically just the life and times of Mike Kennedy. We're going to get him on the air when we come back. You don't want to miss it. It's 1:20.
Hey, it's Sean Tarbell with Davis Moore Chevrolet. And this February, you are going to love the huge savings we have on
Did you send me
trucks
his
and
number?
SUVs.
Yeah,
Check
stand
out
by.
the
I'm doing it
all-new
right now.
2026 Chevy Silverado 1500
I think it's in the
Coupe
email,
Cab LT
but
4x4 and save up to $12,000 off MSRP or get 1.9% financing. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Chevy Equinox EV RS all-wheel drive. Go farther and drive smarter. Together, let's drive at Davis Moore Chevrolet or check us out online at davis-moorechevrolet.com. All offers plus tax, and administrative fees expired March 2nd, 2026.
Pay heed, all who enter.
A swat on one end, a poster on the other. What a sequence.
Join the Jayhawks all season on the hardwood.
He hit it from way downtown. The behind the back and a three-point dagger.
The legacy continues right here.
Chalk it up, the Jayhawks win.
On your home for Kansas Jayhawk basketball.
Saturday at 3, the Jayhawks take on Arizona on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
And we are all tied up in the bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded. Electric in here. Electric. It all comes down to this pitch. You throw the fastball here. But it looks like Brock is walking off the field and is leaving the stadium. What is going on here? I'm getting word that he left to get a taco.
When you need a taco, you need a taco. Introducing the new Cantina Crispy Melt Taco, only from Taco Bell. At participating U.S. locations for a limited time only.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, we'll use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
May text him?
On that heavy shelf you hung yesterday. Turns out you didn't use enough anchors. Wait, you didn't use any anchors? Now you've got an open floor plan. Trendy. And if you have the wrong home insurance, you could need a wall of money to fix this. So get home insurance with Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Got Mike up in third.
Do you need to get rid of some jewelry? Don't waste any time and stop by Phil's Coins and Bullion today. Phil's Coins will give you top dollar for any of your unwanted jewelry. Whether it's gold or silver, get the most out of the unwanted jewelry in your drawer and do it with Phil's Coins and Bullion, 9344 West Central Avenue.
Phil's Coins and Bullion. Phil'sCoins.com.
Jump back on the hotline right now. It's 123. Wichita State's got a biggie against Memphis coming up on Thursday. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Shockers go for a regular season sweep of Memphis on Thursday in Memphis. And on the call, as always, Mike Kennedy, voice of the Shockers. He joins us right now on the hotline. Mike, thanks for taking the time. Good to catch up with you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I want to go back, if you don't mind, as far back as you can recall. You got 46 years under your belt, and you took your bows on Saturday. And we're going to talk about that in a second here, too. But what are your earliest memories of doing play-by-play, and what sport was it?
Well, the very earliest, believe it or not, when I was a student at Wichita State, I took a broadcasting class, and back then KMUW, the campus radio station, was only 250 watts. And so, small signal, the students got to do a lot on air. And one of the things that we did that spring was do a handful of Wichita State baseball games. And the first play-by-play broadcast of any kind I ever did was a Wichita State Creighton baseball game. This was 1970 at McAdams Park. And then at the end of that spring, they dropped the baseball program, which I've told people I hope aren't related. I don't think they were.
And so do you remember what grade you got in that class?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if I even got a grade, but there were several guys there that liked doing sports, and I had 1 year of school left. That was the spring semester I started that, and so I continued through the next year. And we were allowed to do all of the Wichita State home football and basketball games, and the freshman football and basketball games, which were separate teams then, of course. And and then we also talked them into letting us do the City League double and triple headers in basketball and the City League football games that were at Cessna Stadium and the Roundhouse. And so I actually got a lot of good practical experience, on the air through that year and a half.
Talking to Mike Kennedy, voice of the Shockers. Shockers play Thursday against Memphis. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. So do you recall loving it to begin with? Like it was a fish to water? You were like, man, how did I ever live without this? Or did it take a little bit?
No, first time. In fact, the very first thing I did, they assigned me to do a sportscast, 3 or 4 minute sportscast on a 10 o'clock news block at night. They did it Monday through Friday. And the first time I did the sportscast, I came out of there just going, this is it. I got to do this. And that's exactly how I felt from the very beginning.
How about trepidation, fear? Because I think that kind of crosses some people's minds the first time they do play-by-play, or if they're on TV or if they're on the radio. Like there's a fear of freezing up and not being able to spit out what's in your head. Was there any hurdles or obstacles you had to get over when it comes to that?
I can't remember for sure. I'm sure I had some, sense of nerves doing that first one, even the first few. The thing I very distinctly remember was I'd say a few things, and I'm sitting there doing this baseball game, and I suddenly thought to myself, this is radio. You got to keep talking. You're letting too much dead air in there. And so I started to pick it up. I do very specifically remember that.
Talking to Mike Kennedy, he was honored halftime that Saturday game against Temple. Can you take us through that day and all the way up through halftime? Because I know you didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And you described it after the fact that it was maybe even more than you could have imagined. But take us through that Temple game Saturday. Of course, you're doing your regular prep and stuff, but for the first time ever, like you're part of the halftime show. What was that like?
It was kind of surreal, actually. And things kind of started on Friday because I had quite a bit of family that was going to be there. And so they had given us tickets to kind of put all of our family together in one of the sections. And Debbie and I went out there Friday afternoon just to kind of see where that was, figure out, okay, who's going to sit here and so forth. Well, they wanted me to go down to the floor. And when I got down there, I saw the decal that they had put on the floor. And that really was a total surprise. I hadn't seen anything like that, had not thought of anything like that. And the reason they wanted me to see it then, they couldn't wait until Saturday to put it down to make it a surprise. And they wanted me to see it before maybe somebody saw it and just made a random phone call and said, hey, you know what's down here. So I saw that on Friday. And honestly, then I thought, well, that's what they're going to do. That's kind of a permanent thing, which I thought was great, and I really appreciated it. So then one of the biggest surprises on Saturday was when they dropped the banner, and that just blew me away. And to be honest, that was something kind of secretly hoped from the time I decided I was going to retire that they might do, simply because I had seen it done a couple of other places in arenas for longtime broadcasters. I just thought that was a really cool thing. And then a lot of the other stuff, they came over after the under 16 timeout, the under 12 timeout with gifts. And it was just ongoing. There was a book which you contributed to, and which I want to say what you said touched me very much, and I appreciate what you wrote. But it was from notes from a lot of people that I've worked with and coaches and so forth, and that was a tremendous keepsake. And so it was just one thing after another.
Pretty darn good job by the athletic department, wouldn't you say? That was something.
I would say. And then the other thing that was totally unexpected was the way the players reacted to everything. And I have been told since it was their own thing. They were not prompted to do it. But 3 or 4 of them came over just while they were warming up and gave me a fist bump. And then at the introductions, the starting lineup, each came over and gave me a fist bump after they were introduced. And then, I don't know, a minute and a half to go in the game. The game was wrapped up. They were just dribbling out the clock, and both T.J. Williams and Kenyon Giles came over and shook my hand. And then as soon as they did the handshake line, all of them came over and took pictures and stuff. And that was just totally unexpected and really, really special.
You know, it's funny. Full disclosure, I wasn't there. I wasn't able to be there. I was in Hawaii, but I was listening to the game. I was listening to you and Dave, and it wasn't fractured, but I could tell something was going on. And all of the things that you just said, you kind of filled in the blanks. I'm like, I can't imagine trying to call a game. Of course, the game, like you said, was since decided when TJ and Kenyon came over and gave you 5. But I could tell there was something going on. I couldn't tell exactly what. But did you think you'd ever have your face on a long sleeve T-shirt that the players would be wearing? That was their shooting shirts. How cool was that?
Oh, unbelievable. And everybody had it. And I'm sure that was Paul's idea. And I mean, that kind of stuff, I don't know what any other coach that I've worked with might have done. This is my one last season, but I'm not sure that everybody would have thought of doing something like that. That was really special.
No doubt. Mike Kennedy, voice of the Shockers, joining us, telling us about his day on Saturday against Temple. A couple more games left to go in the Shockers regular season, then on to Birmingham this year where the conference tournament is. Speaking of listening to you, I listened to you and Bob in Greenville a few days ago. And so I got to ask you, of all the games, this is pressure and putting you on the spot a little bit, but of all the games that you ever saw, where does that ECU double OT game rank?
Well, I thought about that a lot, even at the time. And there have been other, close, great, exciting games, but I'm not sure. I don't think there's ever been one where the ultimate victory was as improbable. There were two just incredible, unlikely things that happened both at the end of regulation and then again at the end of the first overtime. And even then, they trailed in the second overtime. I don't think I've ever been associated with a game where that all happened in one night.
This is also going to be a tough question for you, Mike, but when you've seen as many games as you have, this is part of the job. Maybe some of the 2 or 3, maybe most memorable games that you've called, regardless of sport, and not necessarily in any order. Give us a few, if you don't mind.
Well, when I get asked that, there are 2 games I kind of count as one. My very first season as the full-time play-by-play broadcaster, the Shockers had 2 incredible back-to-back wins in the NCAA tournament over Iowa here, which I think a lot of fans have at least heard of, and then right after that beat KU in New Orleans to go to the Elite 8. So I kind of count those as one event. They were so close together. And then certainly, winning the College World Series championship in 1989, going to the Final Four in 2013, those obviously stand out. And then there's some that people might not be, quite as cognizant of. Beating Oklahoma State in Stillwater to win the regional title in '88 and go to the College World Series was, for anybody close to baseball, knows how special that was, because we'd been sent there several times for regionals and had been close and didn't quite get through it. And so there's some of those. I've told people the game in 2014 with Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, even though it was a loss, it's probably the greatest college basketball game I've ever been associated with. And so there are some special memories for sure.
I know one that I'll never forget, and I'll never forget where I was too. I was in Hawaii, of all places, when Wichita State played Gonzaga, and they had that unbelievable run of possessions in the second half where I forget the exact number, and maybe you remember, but Wichita State was maybe as efficient as any team at any long extended stretch in the second half in that game against Gonzaga. When did you start to believe that they could actually beat the Zags that particular year? And what do you remember about that game?
Well, I didn't know this at the moment because we were on the air. We weren't in the huddle, but there was a timeout, and I can't remember. It might have been the under 4. I mean, it was maybe even later than that, but I think maybe the under 4. I think they were down 8. And I learned later, Greg Marshall asked them in the huddle, if I had told you at the beginning of the year that you'd be down 8 to Gonzaga with this much time left to go to the Elite Eight, would you have taken it? And of course, they all said yes. They said, well, let's go out there and finish it. And it was right about that time that they hit a couple of big buckets, and you started to feel like this is possible. You know, they are definitely still in this thing. And so from that point on, I think you really started to feel it.
Now, Jim Nantz is kind of famous, or maybe infamous, for at the end of his games, football, golf. I don't know if he does it in golf, but he does it in football and basketball. Kind of scripts it. Depending on who wins, you can tell he's already scripted out what he's going to say. Did that ever cross your mind in your broadcasting career that you either needed, not a gimmick, but you needed a go-to, you needed a phrase, or you needed something different? Did that ever cross your mind? Do you ever consider that? Because I know you're famous for not doing that.
Something like that has only happened one time, and that was at the end of the Ohio State win to go to the Final Four. And the reason was I had started to think after Wichita State started getting really successful under Greg Marshall and they were going to the NCAA tournament, I thought, what if they ever made a Final Four? What would I say? And so I had thought about it, and then what I had thought about had to fall in the right circumstances, because if it had been a last second shot to win the game, I'd have called that, I'd have gone nuts and just, reacted to the play. But as it turned out, Wichita State had the game in hand. Ohio State had the ball last. All they could do was launch a desperation half-court shot that didn't mean anything. And so I had the opportunity to use that thought that I'd had, which was, ladies and gentlemen, say it slowly and savor it. Wichita State is going to the Final Four, et cetera. And that's the only time in my entire career that I ever had thought out what I might say in a given situation.
You strike me as a type that would shy away from that just because you didn't want to jinx the outcome of the game.
Well, that's a consideration. The other thing is, I've just never been, and I am not opposed to people doing it, to have a signature call, for instance. I've just never felt like that was right for me. I just go with whatever comes up at the moment, whatever comes to mind. I've never had a signature home run call or, something that I do at the end of every Shocker win. I've never been a fan of that for myself. Like I say, I'm not criticizing anyone that does it. It's just not ever felt good for me.
You have a signature call that when you hear it, you kind of smile, like, I really nailed that one?
Well, that one, the Ohio State game. Well, and then the last out in the '89 College World Series, I can still remember that like it was yesterday. And Casey Scott and I simultaneously yelling, "Struck him out!"
Yeah.
And the Shockers are national champions. That one always brings a smile to my face. There are probably a couple of others here and there, but those two certainly stand out to me. Well,
you get a chance to take one more bow at Charles Koch Arena. Florida Atlantic coming to town here in a week or so, but you got a couple of roadies before then. Got a big one against Memphis on Thursday. Memphis not in a great way right now, Mike. What's going to take for the Shockers to keep them kind of in the deep freeze, so to speak?
Well, my sense is they're not real together right now, and they've had some injuries. I don't know the status of Aaron Bradshaw. He was injured 2 games ago against Charlotte, came out of the game, came back in for a little bit. He only played 12 minutes, and then he only played 1 minute in their last game with UAB. And obviously he's a big piece for them. They have Sincere Parker back, who missed the game here in Wichita, and who's been going off ever since, averaging almost 18 a game. So that's an element they didn't have. But they've lost 4 in a row, 7 out of 10. The Shockers really handled them pretty well, and there's some things they just don't do particularly well, like shoot the 3, which all plays into Wichita State's advantage for the things they do well defensively. So certainly I like their chances, but it needs to be mentioned, I guess, that we've made 7 straight trips to Memphis without coming out of there with a win. So it'd certainly be nice to end that streak.
Yep, tough place to play for sure. Mike, appreciate your time, appreciate your candor. Everything you've always done for me, our relationship over the years, I really appreciate that. and try to enjoy. You got the entire baseball season after this to have your swan songs and your trips in the American. So enjoy those, and always great talking to you. Appreciate your time.
Likewise, always great to talk to you. Thank you, Shane.
You bet. My pleasure. Voice of the Shockers, Mike Kennedy. His final go around, got 3 more regular season games, then the conference tournament for Shocker men's basketball, and then baseball. He'll wrap it up in May, and hopefully on a very high note. And then speaking of the baseball team, they'll take on Omaha starting tomorrow, first of a 4-game series with the first pitch tomorrow at 3 o'clock, ESPN Plus, if you want to check it out there. Day games, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against Omaha. Long stretch of games for the Shocker baseball team at X Stadium. It's 1:40. When we come back, I'm old, Jack Young. Next.
You're listening to the Shane Dennis Show on ESPN Wichita.
You've got options for what you can do with your money. So asking the right banking and investing questions matters. But who you ask is just as important as what you ask. At Commerce Bank, we have 160 years of experience helping people like you get the most out of their money. No matter your questions, we have proven financial solutions and strategies that we can tailor to meet your needs. Working together, we'll find your answers. The only answers that matter. Commerce Bank. Challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development, scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities as everyone else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability. They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
Why do winners play at 7 Plans Casinos? The numbers don't lie. From Wichita to Texas, 7 Plans has the only certified loose casino, as verified by Strictly Slots Magazine. That's why winners play here. Plus, use your 7 Plans rewards card for even more perks and offers. It's official. 7 Plans Casinos have the area's only certified loose slot.
In business, just like in sports, the best defense wins games. That's where Conradi Insurance comes in, delivering elite risk management and employee benefits to companies across the greater Wichita area. As the largest family-owned independent insurance agency in Wichita, we don't just talk the talk, we protect Kansas businesses like they're part of our team. Conradi Insurance, built for business, rooted in community, always playing to win. Visit ConradiInsurance.com to get in the game.
Get ready for an exciting week of wrestling, Wichita. For the 7th year in a row, Visit Wichita will host the NAIA Men's Wrestling National Championships. This year's action will take place March 5th through March 7th at Heartland Credit Union Arena. And for the 2nd year in a row, Visit Wichita will host the NAIA Women's Wrestling National Championships, March 13th and 14th, also at Heartland Credit Union Arena. Be there to cheer on these amazing wrestlers. Get your tickets today through HeartlandCreditUnionArena.com.
We don't do ordinary at Oxnell Management. We pride ourselves on going beyond the typical commercial real estate relationship.
At Body Bar Pilates, we combine strength and stability in an energizing reformer-based workout that transforms your body and mind. It's not just Pilates, it's your daily dose of power and confidence. Occidental Management truly cared about our business and our success, going above and beyond to support our vision.
Learn more at bodybarpilates.com or call 316-494-0413.
I'm gonna pick up the pieces and build a Lego house. If things go wrong, we can knock it down. My 3 words have 2 meanings, but there's one thing on my mind. It's all for you. And it's dark in a cold December, but I got you to keep
I'm old, Jack's young. 144 here on Wednesday. Pulse coming up here in just a little bit. Chance is here.
But not hosting the Pulse.
Right, correct. I'm just hanging out because this is, it's a fun segment.
Yeah.
We like it. Chance, you know who this is?
There's a handful of guys it could be.
Thanks for that.
And there's really only one it can be. His voice is very distinct. He's not from America.
Jack just scoffed at your
A lot of
idea
guys
that
that
it
aren't
could
from
be
America.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
With this type of voice, he's got a very, very distinct
Is he from
voice.
Canada?
No.
Europe, I'm pretty sure. A country that doesn't have a gold medal in hockey is what Jack is saying. He's from
Boom.
one of those countries.
With a bunch of losers in hockey.
Yeah.
Is it Ed Sheeran?
There you go.
Okay. That was one of the ones. I was going to say either him or like Shawn Mendes. I feel like that's.
Kind of sounds like Bieber a little bit. Not a lot, but a little.
He is one of the few very famous artists that doesn't mask his accent when singing. Because he can't.
That's interesting that you would say that. You think that's avoidable? You think
absolutely is avoidable. There's a lot of guys that have accents that mask it, and you wouldn't even know they're British or Scottish or Irish.
Hold on a second now. AC/DC, they're not from here.
Yeah, would you?
Can you tell? Like at Men at
I would
Work,
say when I was
they're
younger,
not from here.
When I was younger, I would just think they were American.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
I think it also comes down to the genre of music you play. He doesn't have a bunch of instruments going on in the background. It's usually very acoustic, or just studio song where it's just him singing. So his accent comes out a bit more. He's also just got a very thick accent, and his songs are amazing, so I don't have any problem with it. But that's why I say there's only one guy I can be, because of all the famous artists that are not American, he's one of the few in my mind that does not hide the accent.
Okay. Since you explained it that way, I guess that makes more sense that you laughed at Chance. Like, ugh.
Well, think about also too with acting. Think about how many British actors.
We were talking about this on
American
Friday,
accent,
I think. Me and Pat were talking about this on Friday, maybe with Drake. Maybe it was with you, Jack. Can't remember.
I wasn't here on Friday.
Okay, it wasn't you then.
Yeah.
Texter says Keith Urban is from Australia.
Yeah, would you know that he's Aussie in this song?
No, I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
You're coming full circle now.
Ozzy Osbourne. Thickest accent maybe ever. Rest in peace.
Ozzy Osbourne, maybe.
Yeah, but I would say Ozzy, when you heard him talk, not singing, yeah, it was out there. But you go listen to it, just sounds like Ozzy doing his voice, like he's on.
Hey, when he just talks, you can't hardly understand him.
No, and also when he was older. But
Well,
I would
right,
say that
but-
in most of his songs, when you listen to I Don't Want to Stop, I would say that I'm not like, oh, accent right there. Now, knowing Ozzy Osbourne, listening to his interviews and what was his show, his reality show, it's like, okay, now I can hear it.
Okay.
But I thought he hit it pretty well with
He
Black
did.
Sabbath and
He absolutely did. But I'm not convinced that's on purpose, or you can do that. Maybe you can. Those guys are more talented than me, for sure. But
I've heard you sing.
no, you haven't.
we still
Nor
have
will you.
not. I know you guys have heard Pat sing. That's one thing I have not heard. Apparently he's got a great voice.
Wait a second. I haven't. I don't think I have. Have you?
No, I
Chance?
haven't.
Is he not? I would assume that one of the days
We haven't
playing.
had our semi-annual ESPN Wichita talent show in a while. So, I mean, maybe we're due
Maybe
for one.
for Chance's last day.
Well, Pat won't be here, unfortunately.
Oh,
That is
man.
tragic.
Yeah.
Dang.
He can send in a clip, and I can play it of him singing the song they sang Michael Scott when he was leaving the
Yeah.
office.
Make him do that. Trick him into doing that.
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need it for a promo.
Yeah, we do.
It'll be our congratulations, Pat, on
Free!
your Barrett Media. Oh, you good.
Oh, man. All right. That's a rabbit hole. Born day. Let's get to some actual birthdays from figures in sport. Non-Big Four. Hideki Matsuyama is 34.
Oh, it's going again. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I don't care.
That would be baseball. Yeah, no, play Lego House.
No, it's
again.
not. Hideki
Wait, what'd
Matsuyama
you
is
say?
not a baseball player.
Oh, sorry.
Non-Big Four.
That would be golf.
There you go. Very good.
I was too zoned in on it.
Yeah, could tell. Joakim Noah is 41.
Former Florida Gator in Chicago Bowl.
That's right.
Hater of Cleveland.
That's also right.
Something you guys have in common.
You know what his dad did?
Was it a sport?
Mm-hmm. It was non-Big Four.
Sumo.
Tennis.
Yes, tennis. Sumo. He was wearing dreadlocks before dreadlocks were cool. Yannick Noah. That was his dad. Really good tennis player. Don Makowski, 62.
That is either baseball or football.
That's right.
I think that's just a lineman in football.
It's football, but he was a quarterback with the
Oh, okay.
Packers before Brett Favre got there. He of the Goldilocks. He had long, glorious blonde hair. Fine looking man. Paul O'Neill, 63.
Yankee.
An actor.
Appeared on Seinfeld.
Actor,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Kurt Rambis, 68.
From Winning Time.
Ram-
Goggles.
Rambo.
Laker.
There's been some
Clark
discourse
Kent.
about that movie, or not movie, but show recently because of the Pat Riley statue. People saying, how in the hell did that show get canceled?
I don't know that it got canceled. You talking about Winning Time?
It was the writer strike.
Oh,
That's what ended it?
yeah.
Yep.
That was so great, Jack. That may be the best thing you've ever done. Tell me about
I know.
Shane will
I was
never
so
stop
proud.
recommending
that. Golly. You have no idea. That was 15-year-old me watching the Lakers play the Celtics on the
It was so
CBS game of the week on Sundays and didn't have nonstop basketball
Casting
on.
portrayal was eerily.
It was exquisite.
Eerily. Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
everybody looked so carbon copy. from how
Absolutely,
they really
they
looked.
did. Even Kareem. That was great. James Brown, 75. Not the singer.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure this would be football.
No. Come on.
No, okay.
James Brown. You know who I'm talking about. It's technically non-Big Four. He didn't play anything. James Brown.
Oh, is this the CBS guy?
Yeah, that guy. There you go.
I mean, I guess that kind of counts for football.
Kind of,
Give me
yeah.
half a point.
Any sport, James Brown's probably done all
It's
the
true.
sports,
He's
so-
me on the
except for
March
baseball.
Madness, right? Doesn't he appear on March Madness panel?
I think so.
No, I'm thinking of no, he gone too soon.
Oh, Gumble.
Or not
Yeah.
Gumble. Yeah.
Greg Gumbel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guarantee you he's done. If you really wanted to stretch it all the way back to when he was a youngster, he's probably done it.
Can I get on my soapbox a minute while we are approaching March Madness?
Sure.
How stupid is it that when we're doing the pregame into the bracket breakdown, they talk for like 15 minutes? Isn't that the stupidest thing you've ever seen for a bracket show?
You mean get right into it? Let's go.
Yeah.
When the clock strikes, what is it? 6 o'clock when they
Sick.
do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Say, welcome in. Let's go to the East region and go. Why are we hearing about, like, recap the game for sure. Maybe give yourself a 30-minute show of let's break down everything that happened in the conference tournament championships. But oh my goodness, when you're turning it on, you're ready to go, and you hear them talking about hypotheticals. Well, they might be in this region.
Well, is it
No, just
possible
show
that
us.
they don't have the graphic built yet, or are you not buying that?
I'm not buying that.
Okay.
You're
No.
going on air at 6. Everything's ready to go. They're just trying. It doesn't need to be 2 hours either, whatever it is. I
Right.
mean, it's a really, really long. Like, if you want to use your 30 minutes, best time to do it after the brackets. Now start talking about it so we can go over the matchups, the upsets. You like. They draw it out because it is a moneymaker, and I understand that. But oh my gosh, the amount of people I hear from that say it's the dumbest thing, and you're like, just get on with it. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say. I want to hear where my team is playing or if my team is even in, and we're going to get the same thing this year. I think they even go to commercial break right before.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want
know.
to know who does it worse is ESPN with college football. They'll start it. Let's go to Marty McGee, and they're in Tuscaloosa, and he's like, "Well, Nick Saban thinks they should be in the playoff." Thanks, Marty. Groundbreaking analysis. Now let's go to Molly
every
McGrath
place.
and Clemson.
Yeah, yeah.
We think Dabo Sweeney is going to catapult off the diving board with the Domino's Pizza after this, and then it's like the first 4 teams, then a commercial break. And then let's go back to Molly McGrath and Clemson. It's like, well, they thought they were going to be here, but now they're not. And it's awful television.
And they think because they're cliffhangering it that we're all.
And in between then, Brett McMurphy tweets out the actual bracket, and everybody's like, oh, I can turn this off now.
Leakage. Yeah.
I've made my claim on how dumb it is we do that, the college football bracket reveal every Sunday leading up to it. And it's the stupidest thing we ever do. Why does it matter where somebody is in week 6.
This year proved it
It
doesn't
means
matter.
absolutely nothing to me.
This year proved it didn't matter
dumb.
with Miami and Notre Dame. It was just like, we're going to put them in where we want them to put them in.
Yep.
Notre Dame's not in.
So let's not all get our panties in a bunch if our team is not where you want them to be. You never know.
I was really upset when K-State wasn't in the first rankings this year when they were
Criminal.
3-6.
Criminal, I tell you. Born on this day, now dead. Billy Packer.
Oh, great broadcaster.
How's that for a segue? R.I.P. Billy
Love
Packer.
that. That's right into the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely.
This game is over.
Also, born on this day, now dead, non-Big Four, Bobby Riggs. Bobby's a guy. Non-Big Four.
Man.
Jack, come on, man.
Oh.
You need to know who
non-Big Four than tennis.
There you go. Battle of the Sexes. He played tennis against Billie Jean King.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby Riggs, R.I.P. Died in 1995. All right, that'll do it for me. Better get out of here so you can enjoy the Pulse with Pat. He comes your way next.
Pleasure.
Goodbye.